If your knees ache when you stand, if your fingers feel stiff every morning, or if joint pain seems to get worse no matter what medication you try, then this video may change how you think about arthritis forever. Because the real problem may not be aging, it may not even be your joints, it may be what you're eating every single day without realizing it. Today, we'll uncover 7 common foods that silently fuel arthritis and joint pain, and, more importantly, what to eat instead to calm inflammation and protect your joints naturally. Stay until the end because one surprising nutrient could make a dramatic difference. Most people are told arthritis is just wear and tear, but science tells a very different story. Inside every joint are special cartilage-building cells called chondrocytes. These cells constantly repair and maintain your joints. When these cells are under stress, inflammation rises, and once inflammation takes over, joint pain follows. What's shocking is that this stress often starts inside the cell, long before pain appears, especially in a structure called the endoplasmic reticulum, which acts like a protein folding factory. When this factory becomes overwhelmed, inflammation spreads like wildfire. And here's where food enters the picture. Your gut doesn't just digest food. It produces powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, especially secondary bile salts made by your gut bacteria. These bile salts don't just help digestion, they travel through the bloodstream and protect your joints, reducing inflammation at the cellular level. This is why people who had their gallbladder removed, took repeated antibiotics, or damaged their gut microbiome often develop joint pain later in life. No gut balance equals no joint protection, and certain foods destroy this system completely. Most people have never heard of emulsifiers, yet they quietly fuel joint pain every single day. Emulsifiers are chemicals added to foods to keep oil and water mixed together. They're what makes salad dressings creamy, ice cream smooth, and sauces perfectly blended. You'll find them in creamy dressings, ice cream, processed sauces, packaged spreads, and desserts. Look for names like polysorbate 80, carboxymethylcellulose, or anything ending in 8. Here's the real danger. These additives damage your gut bacteria, especially the strains responsible for producing bile salts. And bile salts aren't just for digestion. They help regulate inflammation throughout your entire body, including your joints. When emulsifiers damage those bacteria, protective bile salts drop, inflammation rises, joint cartilage becomes more sensitive, and pain signals amplify. That's why joint pain often worsens even without injury. The problem starts in the gut. The result? More stiffness, more swelling, more pain, especially in the knees, hips, and hands. The fix is simple. Choose foods with short ingredient lists. Avoid creamy processed products. And when possible, make dressings and sauces at home using olive oil, lemon, or vinegar. Your joints don't need more medication. They need less hidden inflammation. And it often starts by removing what's quietly damaging your gut. At number 2, low-fat soy protein powder. It's marketed as clean, heart-healthy, and plant-based, but for aging joints, it can quietly do real damage. You'll find soy protein isolate in protein bars, meal replacement shakes, diet powders, and low-fat health foods. Here's the problem. Soy protein isolate is stripped of taurine, a crucial nutrient your body needs to produce bile. And bile is not optional. Bile allows you to digest healthy fats, absorb fat-soluble vitamins, control systemic inflammation, and protect joint cartilage. When taurine is missing, bile production drops. No bile means poor fat digestion, nutrient malabsorption, rising inflammation, and increased joint stiffness and pain. This is why many people on low-fat, soy-heavy diets notice achy knees and hips, stiff fingers in the morning, slower recovery, and worsening inflammation over time. Low-fat diets may look healthy on paper, but for joints, especially after 50, they often backfire. Your joints need healthy fats, proper bile flow, and real complete proteins, not isolated powders stripped of the nutrients your body depends on. If you use protein supplements, choose whole food sources, collagen peptides, whey or egg-based proteins, or simply real food, because joint health doesn't fail from aging alone. It fails when digestion and inflammation are quietly sabotaged, one healthy powder at a time. At number 3, refined seed oils. These oils are everywhere, not because they're healthy, but because they're cheap and shelf-stable. The most damaging ones include soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, especially when heated. You'll find them hiding in fried foods, restaurant meals, packaged snacks, processed sauces and dressings, and heart-healthy cooking oils. Here's what most people are never told. Refined seed oils are extremely unstable. When they're heated, and especially when reheated, they break down into toxic aldehydes. These compounds attack your body at the cellular level. They damage joint cartilage and connective tissue, blood vessel lining, and mitochondria, your energy factories. This creates a perfect storm: chronic inflammation, faster joint degeneration, poor circulation, slower healing, and deep cellular fatigue. That's why joint pain often persists even when people exercise, take supplements, or lose weight, because the inflammation source is still being poured onto the fire every single day. Seed oils also flood your body with omega-6 fats. In small amounts, omega-6 is normal. In excess, which is common today, it triggers inflammatory signaling non-stop. This is why cultures that consume minimal seed oils have lower arthritis rates, healthier joints, and better cardiovascular function. If you want to protect your joints and arteries, the swap is simple. Avoid cooking with refined seed oils. Instead, choose extra virgin olive oil, low heat, avocado oil, butter or ghee, or coconut oil. These fats are stable, supportive, and far less inflammatory. Joint pain isn't just about wear and tear, it's about what's quietly inflaming your tissues every single day, and refined seed oils are one of the biggest offenders. At number 4, alcohol, and beer is the worst offender. Beer doesn't just affect your liver, it directly attacks your joints. Here's why. Beer is rich in purines. When purines break down, they turn into uric acid. Excess uric acid forms sharp crystals that settle into joints, especially the knees, ankles, toes, and fingers. That's why gout flare-ups are so often triggered by beer. But the damage doesn't stop there. Alcohol puts enormous stress on the liver, and your liver plays a critical role in joint health. A healthy liver clears inflammatory toxins, regulates hormones, processes fats properly, and produces bile needed to absorb joint protective nutrients. When alcohol damages the liver, inflammation rises everywhere, including inside your joints. This creates a vicious cycle: slower toxin clearance, poor fat digestion, rising systemic inflammation, and increased joint pain and stiffness. Even moderate drinking can worsen symptoms in sensitive adults, especially after age 50. Beer is particularly harmful because it combines alcohol, purines, and carbohydrates that spike inflammation. If joint pain, stiffness, or swelling is an issue, cutting back on beer is one of the fastest ways to feel improvement. For many people, joint pain decreases within weeks, not months, just by reducing alcohol. No liver health means no joint health. Protect your liver and your joints will follow. Number 5. Casein A1, the protein hiding in most commercial dairy. This one surprises a lot of people. Milk is often marketed as healthy, but not all milk is the same. Most conventional milk comes from A1 cows, and A1 casein behaves very differently in the body. When A1 casein is digested, it breaks into a compound called BCM7. BCM7 is not just irritating, it can activate the immune system. In many adults, this triggers joint inflammation, stiffness, swelling, and morning pain, especially in the knees, hands, shoulders, and hips. This is not a lactose issue. Many people who say, "I'm lactose intolerant," are actually reacting to A1 casein. Even lactose-free milk can still cause joint flare-ups if it contains A1 protein. You'll find A1 casein in conventional milk, American cheese, processed cheese slices, and sodium caseinate powders, many protein drinks and creamers. The alternative? A2 dairy. A2 casein comes from grass-fed cows, goats, and sheep. A2 does not produce BCM7. It is significantly less inflammatory and far easier on joints and digestion. Many people notice less stiffness, reduced swelling, and better mobility within just 10 to 14 days of switching. If you have arthritis, joint pain, or unexplained inflammation, commercial dairy may be quietly working against you. Swap A1 for A2, and your joints often tell you the difference fast. Not all dairy is bad, but the wrong dairy can keep inflammation locked on. Number 6. Modern wheat and the inflammation it quietly creates. This is not the wheat your grandparents ate. Over the last 50 years, wheat has been genetically altered to grow faster, yield more, and survive heavy chemical spraying. The result? A grain that behaves very differently inside the human body. First problem: high glycemic starch. Modern wheat breaks down rapidly into glucose, causing sharp blood sugar spikes. Those spikes trigger insulin surges, and insulin is a powerful inflammatory signal. Inflammation rises. Joint pain follows. Second problem: wheat germ agglutinin, or WGA. WGA is a plant defense protein. It's designed to damage insects, and unfortunately, it can damage the human gut too. WGA binds to the intestinal lining, weakening the gut barrier and increasing intestinal permeability. This is how leaky gut begins. Third problem: glyphosate residues. Many wheat crops are sprayed with glyphosate right before harvest to dry them faster. Glyphosate disrupts gut bacteria, the same bacteria that regulate immune balance and control inflammation. Less good bacteria means more immune activation. Fourth problem: gluten proteins. For many people, even without celiac disease, gluten stimulates the immune system. That immune response doesn't stay in the gut. It travels through the bloodstream and often settles in the joints. The result? Swelling, stiffness, pain that moves from joint to joint, flare-ups with no obvious cause. When you combine blood sugar spikes, gut damage, chemical exposure, immune activation, you create the perfect storm for chronic joint inflammation. This is why many people notice something shocking. Remove modern wheat, and joint pain often improves within weeks. Not because wheat is evil, but because modern wheat is inflammatory. Your joints feel what your gut absorbs, and for many people, wheat is where inflammation begins. Number 7. High fructose corn syrup, the silent joint destroyer. This is not regular sugar. HFCS is a synthetic sweetener engineered to be cheap, shelf-stable, and intensely rewarding to the brain. But inside the body, it behaves very differently. Unlike glucose, fructose is processed almost entirely by the liver, and the liver was never designed to handle large, repeated fructose loads. When fructose floods the liver, it overwhelms normal metabolism and gets converted into fat. That fat accumulates inside liver cells, driving insulin resistance. Once insulin resistance begins, inflammation becomes constant. There is no natural off switch. Blood sugar stays unstable.
Inflammatory signals stay turned on. Joint tissue never gets a chance to recover. HFCS also increases uric acid, a powerful inflammatory compound directly linked to joint pain and gout. Over time, this creates a vicious cycle: liver stress, insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and ongoing joint damage. And here's the most dangerous part: HFCS hides everywhere. Soft drinks, sweetened teas, fruit-flavored yogurts, ketchup and sauces, low-fat processed foods. You can eat it daily without ever tasting how destructive it is. When HFCS is removed, the liver begins to heal. Insulin sensitivity improves, inflammation drops, and joints finally get relief. For joint health, this is one ingredient that delivers pain without providing anything your body needs.
Now for the good news. Joint pain is not just about what you remove, it's about what you restore. And the first thing most people are missing is not a supplement. It's healthy gut bacteria. That's where fermented foods come in. Fermented foods. Examples include sauerkraut, kefir, and Bulgarian yogurt. These foods are not trendy. They are ancient medicine. Fermented foods deliver live bacteria that rebuild your gut lining and rebalance the microbiome, the control center of inflammation. Here's why this matters for joints. Your gut bacteria help convert bile acids into anti-inflammatory bile salts. Those bile salts don't just digest fat. They calm immune overreactions, reduce inflammatory signaling, and protect cartilage and connective tissue. When gut bacteria are damaged by emulsifiers, alcohol, seed oils, or sugar, this system collapses. Fat digestion suffers. Toxins recirculate. Inflammation spills directly into the joints. That's why joint pain often starts in the gut, long before it shows up in the knees or hands. Fermented foods reverse this process. They strengthen the gut barrier, reduce leaky gut, improve mineral absorption, lower systemic inflammation. Kefir and Bulgarian yogurt provide beneficial strains that survive stomach acid and actively suppress inflammatory microbes. Sauerkraut feeds beneficial bacteria with natural prebiotic fibers, helping good bacteria multiply and dominate. And here's the key: you don't need large amounts. Just 2 to 4 tablespoons per day can shift gut chemistry in as little as 2 weeks. As bile flow improves, fat digestion improves. As fat digestion improves, joint lubrication improves. And as inflammation drops, pain begins to fade. This is why many people report less morning stiffness, better digestion, reduced bloating, and calmer joints without changing anything else. Fermented foods don't mask pain. They fix the upstream cause. They rebuild the environment where healing is allowed to happen. And this is just the beginning. Because once the gut is repaired, everything else you eat starts working for you instead of against you. 2. Healthy fats. For decades, we were told a dangerous lie: fat causes inflammation. The truth is the opposite. The right fats are required for joint health. Your joints are not dry hinges. They are living tissue, bathed in fluid, protective by cartilage, and repaired constantly. And none of that works without fat. Healthy fats stimulate bile flow, the liver's natural anti-inflammatory system. Bile does 3 critical things: digests fat properly, removes inflammatory toxins, and signals the immune system to calm down. When bile flow is weak, inflammation rises, and joints pay the price. That's why low-fat diets often lead to stiffer joints, cracking knees, slower recovery, and worsening arthritis. Now, here are the fats that heal instead of harm. Olive oil, rich in oleocanthal, a compound that works like a natural NSAID, reducing pain and inflammation without damaging the gut. Avocado oil, extremely stable, even when heated. It protects joint cartilage and improves nutrient absorption. Grass-fed butter and animal fats. They contain fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2, nutrients that regulate calcium, protect cartilage, and support bone-joint communication. Fatty fish, like sardines, mackerel, and salmon. They deliver omega-3 fats that quiet inflammatory cytokines and reduce joint swelling from the inside out. These fats don't clog joints. They lubricate them. They restore synovial fluid. They improve flexibility. They allow repair enzymes to function again. And here's the key most people miss. When you eat healthy fats, your body stops craving sugar. That alone reduces inflammation dramatically. Just 1 or 2 servings per day can improve joint comfort within weeks. This isn't about eating more. It's about eating correctly. Because joints don't fail from age. They fail from starvation of the nutrients they need to heal. And once healthy fats are restored, the healing process accelerates. 3. Vitamin D-rich foods and sunlight. Vitamin D isn't just for bones. It's one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories your body can produce. Low vitamin D doesn't just weaken bones, it fuels joint inflammation, slows cartilage repair, and even increases pain sensitivity. For seniors, deficiency is common because the skin produces far less vitamin D with age, and many diets fall short. Here's the good news. You can restore your levels naturally and help your joints feel decades younger. Sunlight. Just 10 to 20 minutes a day, arms and legs exposed, triggers your skin to convert cholesterol into vitamin D. This alone reduces inflammatory markers and improves cartilage resilience. Vitamin D-rich foods. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. Egg yolks, fortified dairy or plant-based milks. But vitamin D works best when paired with 3 critical nutrients. Magnesium, the spark plug that activates vitamin D inside your cells. Zinc, supports joint tissue repair and immune balance. Vitamin K2 ensures calcium goes to bones, not arteries or inflamed joints. When all 4 are in harmony, joint inflammation decreases, cartilage repair accelerates, and pain signals are dampened naturally. For best results, aim for small daily servings of vitamin D foods plus safe sunlight exposure. This combination quietly, consistently, and powerfully protects joints without pills, creams, or injections. 4. Vitamin K2 foods. Vitamin K2 is often overlooked, but it's essential for keeping calcium where it belongs. Too much calcium in your joints? That's stiffness, pain, and limited mobility. Too much in your arteries? That's cardiovascular risk. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director for calcium. It guides calcium into your bones and keeps it out of your joints and arteries, protecting both mobility and heart health. The best natural sources are simple whole foods: grass-fed dairy, cheese, yogurt, butter; fermented foods, natto, sauerkraut, kefir. Consistent daily intake helps reduce joint stiffness, support healthy bones, protect arteries from unwanted calcium buildup. Pair vitamin K2 with calcium and vitamin D, and you create a powerhouse combo for joint resilience and overall longevity. Even small servings each day, a slice of grass-fed cheese, a spoonful of natto, can make a noticeable difference in mobility and comfort over weeks. 5. Sulfur-rich vegetables. Sulfur isn't just a chemical element, it's a joint protector. Sulfur helps your body repair cartilage, maintain connective tissue, and keep joints flexible as you age. Without enough sulfur, joints become stiff, prone to pain, and slower to recover from stress or inflammation. The best sources are everyday vegetables packed with flavor and nutrients. Garlic, raw or lightly cooked, adds anti-inflammatory compounds. Onions, rich in organosulfur compounds that soothe joints. And cruciferous veggies, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale. Regularly including these foods supports cartilage regeneration, improves joint mobility, and reduces stiffness and discomfort. Even small servings, a clove of garlic, half a cup of broccoli, feed your joints the sulfur they need to stay strong, resilient, and pain-free.
6. Collagen and bone broth. Your joints are mostly collagen, the scaffolding that holds cartilage, tendons, and ligaments together. As we age, collagen production naturally declines. Combine that with modern diets low in protein and connective tissue, and joints can become fragile, stiff, and painful. This is where bone broth and collagen supplements come in. Bone broth, slow simmered from bones and connective tissue, it delivers natural collagen, glucosamine, and chondroitin. Collagen peptides, concentrated, easy-to-digest powders that specifically target joint repair. Regular intake supports cartilage regeneration, reduces joint discomfort, improves mobility and flexibility, and protects bones and connective tissue over time. Even a small daily serving, a cup of bone broth or 5 grams of collagen powder, gives your joints the building blocks they need to stay strong, resilient, and pain-free.
Keep iron levels moderate. Excess iron fuels inflammation. Avoid unnecessary iron supplements. Be cautious with iron cookware. Support gut health first. Joints follow. Joint pain is not inevitable. Most arthritis is inflammatory, not mechanical. Change the food, and the pain often changes with it. If this video helped you, like and subscribe for more science-based health guidance. And comment below which food surprised you the most. Your joints will thank you.